All right, you guys have been waiting for this video. We are gonna go through my top reads of 2016. As you guys know, I'm a huge believer in reading. I believe that all readers are leaders, all right? If you wanna be a leader, you have to read. You cannot lead to your full potential if you don't read, all right? And I actually got that quote right out of this book from Brad Lomanchek. It's called Humble, Hungry, Hustle, H3 Leadership. And if you go to this one section in the book, it says, whatever people tell me I don't read, I want to respond, then you can't lead. All right? If you're not growing, you're not going. If you're not learning, you're not leading. And while it's great to be interesting, it's more important to be interested. All right? So I see a lot of guys, they come to me for help in terms of like expanding their business, and I realize that they just don't have a lot of substance. They can't go deep. Everything they discuss or want to teach is at a surface level. And reading will help you scuba dive on certain topics. So if you're looking to influence, to impact, you have to make time in your day to go deeper. You can't stay at the superficial level. All right, it's good maybe for Twitter and for sound bites, but it won't get you any further. It's not going to keep people following you long term. So the books we're going to dive into here are all books that I've read or I've listened to. Okay, I'm a huge fan of Audible, and I got through a lot of books by listening in my car and listening while I do cardio or just out and about. Okay, so that's how I go about the application of reading. I have to thank my father for the gift of reading. Him and my mom actually instilled this in us at a very, very early age, and it's a gift that we're going to pass on to our kids just because, man, I'm stupid. Like, I'm really dumb. Like, unless I read, my brain doesn't get stimulated. And all the good stuff that comes out of my mouth and my Instagram posts, I heard it from somewhere. You think I come up with this stuff myself? I don't come up with this stuff myself. I read it, and I read it in a state that it impacts me and it means something to me, and I write it down and I apply it, and then it becomes real. So it's nice to read books, but people that talk about reading books but have nothing to show for them, like, are you applying what you're reading? So hopefully I'm a testament to that, and let's just kind of dive through some of these books here in no particular order. Again, we got stuff for fitness people, business people, relationship stuff. And we'll just, I don't know where to even start. All these books are so good. Let's start with this book here, Rocket Fuel. So this book here is for anybody who has hit a plateau in their business. I'll just do quick summaries here. And this book talks about the visionary integrator relationship and how about 4% of the population are integrators. They're the people behind the scenes that apply the visionaries' vision and goals. And I discovered that I'm a visionary, and my business actually plateaued at the start of the year because I didn't have a good integrator, somebody who could take my ideas, somebody who had teams and systems to apply them. And this book here at the start of the year got me focused on looking for that person, and I finally found that person. I actually pay him. I kid you not, I mentioned this in a previous video later on into the video, so maybe you didn't hear it. But I have a strategic partner who has teams that implement a lot of my ideas, and I pay him $15,000 US a month. On the first of every month, I send him $15,000, and that is to have his strategic ideas implemented into my brain so that I can apply them and we can focus on my big vision. So this is a really powerful book. Like, if you're a business owner and and you're like the face of the business, you're like the Elliot Hulse, the Jeff Cavalier, the Brandon Carter, the Greg O'Gallagher, you're the face of the business. You have to have a team behind you supporting all of your ideas. You can't build your business working also in your business. All right, and that was a big thing lacking with me, because you guys probably know I'm a good marketer, but I'm also a fitness expert first. That's what I've always been passionate about. Marketing wasn't my interest. I just had to learn it to expand my message. So this book really forced me to pause, put the car in pause, and to look for that person, and then to figure out how to incentivize him to really help me get to the next level. So this book is fantastic. It'll take you 4 hours to get through on Audible. It's by Gino Wickman and Mark Winters, Rocket Fuel. And again, essential if you're a visionary entrepreneur that's having a hard time getting shit done. You're like, man, I got all these ideas, but nothing's getting done. You need an integrator, and this book will help you figure out how to find him. Oh my God, this is gonna be a 3-hour video if I keep going at this pace. Let me go at a quicker rate here. This book is called Deep Work. It's by Cal Newport. This guy isn't on Facebook and he isn't on Instagram. He doesn't even own those accounts. And he talks about rules for focused success in a distracted world. And he talks about how everybody does surface work. Nobody goes deep. Nobody writes a detailed 3,000, 4,000 word article anymore. Nobody puts out really good quality work anymore. Everybody's just sound bites, Instagram, Snapchat. It's all bullshit. It's like, no, you can't go deep with people on that kind of stuff. And he challenges people to really put out good work and to do the work you're doing really well. And that requires a level of focus you've never had before. So this book was actually kind of made me feel uncomfortable many times. Very good work if you feel like you're at the surface. And you're like, you know what? The reason my business isn't growing is just because I'm putting out average work. Well, this book will challenge you. This book is unbelievable. I got to meet Grant Cardone. Grant, if you're watching this, I want to meet you in Miami, anywhere. This guy is the man. I love this guy. I like him a lot more than Gary Vaynerchuk too. Just my kind of guy. The 10X rule. Don't buy this book. Grant, hope you don't mind me saying that. Listen to the audio because Grant does the audio and he's awesome. He's intense. He challenges you. He's going to call you out. And the big thing here is just going to challenge you to do whatever you're doing twice as fast, twice as well, 10X everything, 10X everything. So this book is just like one of those kicks in the ass for anybody. Whatever career you're in, this is a killer book. This book, oh my gosh, this book is unbelievable. You guys are going to love me once you read this book. This is by a former FBI hostage negotiator, all right? And it's all on negotiation. All right, guys, don't tell your wife about this book. Do not tell anybody about this book. This is your best kept secret. Never split the difference. There are so many tactics in this book that you can use immediately that will help you start getting what you want. It helped us get into our new home. It helped us sell this home. It helps me now negotiate with my 3-year-old who's like, oh my gosh, if anybody's got a 3-year-old, you're like, oh my God, how this is like, this girl always wants to negotiate. It's learned how to have much more productive conversations with my wife. Guys, I cannot tell you how valuable this book is. His name's Chris Voss. There's a great podcast with him and Lewis Howes. And there's another one with him and another guy. Oh, crap. I forget. Let me check my podcasts. Killing the flow here. But you guys just have to search it because if you like the podcast, then you can read the book. I don't want to waste your time, right? Okay, here we go. My podcasts. Where is the guy? He did a really good podcast with this guy. Oh, here it is. James Altucher. Altucher. So if you search Chris Voss and James Altucher, there's an awesome interview with these guys, Chris Voss, James Altucher, and Chris Voss and Lewis Howes. Killer interviews. If you like the interviews, you're going to race to the bookstore and get this one. All right. So you guys are making a book list here. Here's another good book on negotiation, Getting to Yes, Negotiating Agreement Without Giving In. One of the big things I learned about this book is the person that has more to lose is always going to have a harder time getting what they want. So the big thing with negotiation is just kind of like, hey, it's your loss here. Like really having an out and not like needing the deal as badly as the other person. And there's a whole ton of ways to go about doing that. So again, a lot of people I know just aren't getting what they want in life and because they've never taken the time to learn. Like this is the stuff they should be teaching in school: negotiation, influence, communication, listening, asking the right questions, knowing when to shut the heck up and to like listen and use tonality and all these cool tactics that help you get what you want. Like if you don't read this stuff, you don't learn this in school, and you're like, why am I not, life sucks, well, because you haven't invested in yourself. All right, hopefully you guys are going to Amazon after this. This book, Ready, Fire, Aim, pretty controversial, 0 to 100 million in no time flat, Michael Masterson. A lot of people love this book. Some say it's one of the best business books ever. One of the big takeaways from this book is that you have no business doing anything else if you're going from 0 to a million until you master customer acquisition. What that basically means is that to get to $1 million in sales a year, that comes down to one type of focus, and that's just on getting customers. I know that sounds kind of evil, but it just means like you should have a system in place that acquires new customers. You should have a sales funnel, you should have ads, you should have traffic, things that bring customers into your world. If you don't have new customers buying your stuff, you can't scale, you can't grow. All right, so this book kind of just gets you focused on what matters most in building a business. I see all these people, they're screwing around on Snapchat, Instagram, they're messing around on even YouTube and Facebook, and they don't have anything built to get a customer. I'm like, how are you gonna monetize that? How are you gonna scale that? I don't know. Yeah, anyways, read the book. This book, got a bit of trouble from some of my Christian friends for promoting it. This is written by somebody who's not a Christian, but I found there to be some tremendous practical advice for men, especially men who are struggling with the opposite sex. If you've been going through relationship after relationship, or you can't get over a relationship and you've been left heartbroken for months, this one is at the top of your list. All right, this one really explains woman in a way I've never read any other book do. And that's why I'm more than happy recommending it to you. It's called The Way of the Superior Man. I'm telling you guys, you won't be able to put this book down. A lot of people have recommended it. It's been out for a while. And again, I don't agree with everything in this book, but you'll read some stuff in this book that will be like, oh my God, now I know how to deal with women. Oh my gosh, anyways, read the book, all right? Where should we go now? We're almost done here. 2 books from Fitness Guy. Let's get into fitness. A lot of you guys have understood that I've focused on rebuilding. I rebuilt my metabolism the past year, and I got to thank this guy, Scott Abel. He's a legend, man. He's been around for a long time. He's got tons of books here on Amazon. This is an awesome book, Understanding Metabolism, The Truth About Counting Calories, Sustainable Weight Loss, and Metabolic Damage. Again, I give credit where credit's due. A lot of the stuff you're hearing me teach, you'd be like, oh, I think he got that from Scott. I probably did. I get all the stuff I get from everybody. I validate it in the real world. So I learn stuff from people, but then I validate it myself. And then when I validated it and have a personal experience from it, then I teach it. I don't just read someone's book and then like regurgitate it, because that's not true knowledge. True knowledge is when you have habits and a transformation to show for it. And that's when I recommend the books. So this is another good book, The Cycle Diet. Scott's actually the guy that invented cheat meals. He was the first guy that was doing like 10,000 calorie meals way back in the 80s when people didn't even believe him. He's got a podcast called The Smarter Sculpted Physique, one of the best fitness podcasts that I can possibly recommend. And he goes off on rants a lot, and he's really funny. And he's just, because he's seen so much BS and he's seen so many cycles and trends in the industry, you can hear him get annoyed, but he's just very, very insightful, very wise. He's got so many books, recommend all of his stuff. These were 2 that really helped me focus on what my fitness goals were going to be for the year, which were to rebuild my metabolism and not focus on the numbers on the scale. And obviously there's a lot more to it, and he teaches you how to do refeeds properly. Anyways. Woo! We are having fun here. Book recommendations. Here we go. One take. We're almost done. Perfect Day Formula from one of my mentors, Craig Ballantyne. Craig Ballantyne is the man. Craig has really influenced the whole idea of scripting my days. He's the guy that always challenges me to get more from less, and to he's taught me the whole idea of how structure actually equals freedom. And this book, you could read it in one sitting, The Perfect Day Formula. This is very tactical, and it will help you set up a day for success so that you get a lot from the limited time you have. All right, so this is a really awesome day. As a man who's 37 with 2 young kids, a business, who trains, I have to keep my physique up to like keep people interested in what I have to say. And I also have a business that requires a lot of management of time, resources, money, and stuff like that. I have to be productive with my day. So this book I recommend to all of my business building students, anybody, to be honest, period. Whew, we're almost there. Let's talk fiction. All right, fiction. This book is from Lee Child. He does like action adventure. He does the Jack Reacher stories. And a lot of his books have been put into movies. This is a book series that I got into this year. And again, pure fiction, pure just like mental release. And one of the reasons I like this guy too is he's helped me with my writing abilities, because he writes in very short, punchy sentences. And he's just like right to the point. Like he doesn't, it's like, wow, this is good. Like he's a page turner. He teaches you how to write in a way that keeps people engaged and how to own people's attention. And in this day and age of social media, if you're trying to have an influence and impact, you need to know how to keep people's attention. So reading books that know how to keep your attention and don't put you to sleep are good books to read. And obviously this isn't doing it by accident. There's a formula here. So I'm reading a lot of his books. And anyways, this is a good one to start with, Persuader, because he's got a lot of Jack Reacher books. All right, what about this book? Who's this guy? Living Large. Woo! Vinny D came out with his first book in 2016, and people love it. So far, there's 22 reviews on Amazon, and they're all 5-star reviews. So if you've given me a 5-star, thank you so much. But this is your guide to 30 pounds in the new year. I left my book near till the end. And anyways, I actually got a couple books I'm going to share that are on my phone. I saved actually the best for last. That's why my book's being saved for the last, right? So, but this got a complete 30-week muscle building program in there. It's also for fat loss, because it's got done-for-you meal plans built in here as well. Exercise pictures of every single, none of these like cheesy black and white photos you can hardly make out what the guy's doing. With cues, so if I was coaching you, these are the things I would be telling you. And this is just really everything I know about building muscle condensed into an easy-to-read book. Every chapter is only 200 words. And if you're going to pick up some books on Amazon, be sure to add my book. You'll even get a lesson in how to write a book. This book was inspired by many other books that just get to the point. You know, it's not like, for me, I never finished a fitness book before. I'm like, oh my God, fitness books are so boring. And this was like a book that I wanted to write that people would actually read and finish. So every chapter is only 200 words. So you can get right into it and like pull something out and go, oh, I can apply that right away. All right, I talked about this book at the beginning. Really good book, written by a Christian guy. This guy's got endorsements by everybody. Jim Collins, Seth Godin, John Maxwell, Dave Ramsey, Daniel Pink. A lot of big names. So this is a really other good one if you're trying to be a leader. And again, these books, again, I don't care if you're 16 years old, if you're 66 years old. You'll get something out of all of these books, okay? We're going to Audible now. As you guys can see, I read a lot of books. I could read a lot more. There's a lot of books up here I haven't read yet. But let me go into, that's actually a good little lesson there. If you're going to write a book, you need a good title, right? Why do people buy books? The titles and recommendations, but the title. You got to come up with a good title. A bad title, no one's going to buy your book. All right, so let's go into, can you see this here? I read Gary V's book. Ask Gary V. He's another business guy who has a lot of really, I find, relevant insights on the social media world and where we're heading, and I like to listen to him. So Gary V, this is definitely good. It's a 14-hour Audible thing, but it's really good. The book Scrum, this is like a must-have for guys who are running 7-figure businesses, 6-figure businesses, and want to get to the next level. Scrum by J.J. Sutherland. It's fantastic. It taught me about this concept called the backlog and how you take your ideas and put them there, and it helps you understand the concept work capacity, and that you can only do one thing at a time. And this was like the whole playbook for our business this past year, applying the things we learned in Scrum. So understanding that we can only put one thing or two things into production at once, and we have to see that thing come off the assembly line until we get an ROI before we take something else off the backlog. A lot of you guys who are trying to build businesses, you're trying to do too much at once. And you've got 3-4 things on the assembly line, if you will. You got all this time and money going into it, but nothing's coming off, so you're not getting an ROI. So a lot of the times you have to just like pause the assembly line, put it through, put it into production, get traffic to it, sell it, make a profit on it, and then reinvest those profits into the next thing on the backlog. And a lot of times in the year, you're going to get ideas that you can't implement. So you got to take those ideas and you got to put it on the backlog, and you got to leave it there. And there's going to be a lot of ideas you can't apply this year. And this book was like really helpful for helping me like, okay, I get it. I can't, I have capacity. Our team has capacity. My bank account has capacity. We can only do so much at once. So a really good book. I'm almost there, guys. I got one more book recommendation here. And where is it? Oh, here it is. The 4 Disciplines of Execution. My strategic business partner recommended this one as well. The 4 Disciplines of Execution by Chris McKenzie and Sean Covey. And this book here, again, very, very game changing. It will give you the 4 disciplines of execution. So a lot of us, you're not getting shit done. You like got all these ideas, but you're like, you don't have anything to show for it. And this book really will help you understand what needs to happen. And one of the really practical things I did this past year with my business partner is that we have a weekly meeting every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Rain or shine, we meet at the same time each week. And this is one of the disciplines. It's called the cadence of accountability. The cadence of accountability. And this principle is just something to ensure we're always moving forward, focused on the right ball. And we're moving that ball up the field towards the goal. And it's just ensuring that we're always like in tune, communicating, over communicating, and we're always in touch. I see a lot of businesses, they don't have this weekly meeting. They're all over the map. And this cadence of accountability will keep you guys on track. And it's amazing how powerful just this weekly meeting is. For a lot of you guys who have team members, one of the best things you can implement is just to meet them once a week on the phone. It's just, all right, this is our weekly meeting. This is where we're going to look at your work the previous week. This is where we're going to review what you're doing right now and what you're focusing on moving forward. All right, so again, a lot of tactical stuff in that book that's going to help you just, again, get the ball into the net and get the right ball into the right net and not score on your own net. You know what I'm saying? To move in the right direction. And I think I'm going to save the best for last. This book is for fathers. And this is specifically for fathers with daughters. All right? Again, I have a daughter, and man, it's tough. She's already 3, and man, oh man, where do these girls come from? Like, it's tough. Man, like, she's like already negotiating with me, and she got like a mind of her own. She's got like a photographic memory. I'm like, OMG, like, and she's only 3. Anyways, this book has been very, very helpful. It's called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, 10 Secrets Every Father Should Know. It's written by Meg Meeker, and she actually has a podcast. It's really, really good. Fathers, wives, wives? Yeah. Husbands and wives, you guys got to listen to this together. So the big thing that I learned from this book is that girls need 4 things. Listen up, fathers. They need 4 things. They need attention, they need protection, they need courage, and they need wisdom. I'm going to repeat that. They need attention, protection, courage, and wisdom. All right, and this book just talks about how to strengthen the bond between you and your daughter. And what I've learned, it's not going to just happen coincidentally. There's a lot that goes into building a relationship with your daughter. It's like just being there isn't enough. All right, so this book has really helped me focus on a lot of things because I'm clueless. I don't know how to do this. I watched my parents raise me, and we're all boys, but man, having a daughter is a whole nother, it's tough. Holy mackerel. So I can imagine it only gets tougher, but it's absolutely an amazing opportunity. So it's an amazing gift. Well, she has a heavenly father. I'm her earthly father, and I want to embrace that role as well as possible. So those are my book recommendations from 2016. And let me know what topics you guys want me to cover in terms of, or book recommendations you'd like in case I missed any books. If there's like, hey Vince, what about this topic? You didn't touch on this topic. Let me know in the comment section below because this video is far too long. But this is for all my diehards who've been asking me to do this video for a long time. So thanks for sitting through all the way to the end. Be sure to like it, share it with your friends. This video needs to be shared, not liked. You can like it, but share this video with your friends. And I hope that you'll find something in this stack of books that will help service your life. Talk to you guys soon.